Really do appreciate you joining us today here on America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker and Chaz Price. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. The website, arhq.com. Don't forget, if you missed the first half of the show or you just want to catch up on previous editions of America's Retirement Headquarters, available for you on demand, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you consume your media. Just search for America's Retirement Headquarters. All those episodes there for you to check out at your leisure. Again, America's Retirement Headquarters. Guys, there's a trend emerging as people claim Social Security. In 2005, about 50% of men and women claimed benefits at the earliest age, as soon as possible at 62. Today, those numbers are around 30%, with more and more people waiting until their full retirement age of 66 or 67. Is this a trend that you guys are seeing with people who come into the office? And what are the pros and cons of actually waiting?
Well, if you look at this, this actually will be a topic that we're going to be discussing in great detail upcoming at our September 5th and 6th event that we're going to be doing over at Red Lobster at 6 p.m. So if you are thinking about when to draw Social Security and what might be your optimal strategy, go to our website, arhq.com. And go ahead and click on the events tab and register to come out. Or if you're somebody that's watching, maybe on our YouTube channel or one of our podcasts, stop over to YouTube and look us up on America's Retirement Headquarters on YouTube. We've got just a great amount of topics that, we dive into this. But when you look at it, the vast majority, according to the Social Security's website, roughly about 70% of people are actually still taking Social Security before their full retirement age. And what that means is that they're taking a lifetime penalty by drawing benefits early. I would say it's been my experience that a lot of the times when people come to the office and they look at Social Security in context of their total financial picture, I think an overwhelming majority of people end up opting to maybe not take Social Security early and take that lifetime benefit. I'll give you one example. If we look at it, Social Security could be one of the biggest assets a retiree owns. A married couple, both age 61, who one is entitled to $2,000 a month at full retirement age, and a spouse who's entitled to $1,000 a month at full retirement age, if they collected benefits at the age of 62 and both lived until the age of 85, the lifetime benefit that they would receive from their Social Security is $930,692. Yet when we run an optimization strategy, the optimized strategy could provide total benefits of $1,222,238. So the optimized approach could provide an additional $291,546 in benefits by not simply drawing early, and again, knowing and how it applies to their situation. So you also, as a listener of the show, if you don't want to come to Red Lobster, and I know everybody loves Cheddar Bay biscuits, I do, including, and everything there is just absolutely delicious. But if you want to jump to that front of the line, you can always call the office, 419-794-3030, and you can get a Social Security optimization report. And what we'll talk you through is looking at how in the context does Social Security work when you look at it, and what are the pros and cons of waiting to take Social Security. Chaz, a lot of people, when they come to the office or at different events that we do, a lot of the times there's somebody in the audience that'll raise their hand and they'll say, you know what, I ran a break-even analysis and, I had to live well into my 70s before I even break even. What we're trying to do, though, is we're trying to get our clients to look at it as far as how do we get the family the most amount of lifetime income that has an inflation adjusted and provides spousal and survivor benefits. And the optimization plan is going to look at it and look for strategies designed to get the most amount of income. But when you look at it and, talking with clients, what are the pros and cons that you talk about for Social Security?
Yeah, I just wanted to address that break-even analysis because that does come up quite often. And I think it's a pretty simple calculation, I guess, to start with. So if you're not familiar, break-even analysis would be just simply adding up all of the benefits that you could receive, let's say at age 62, and then dividing that sum by the extra income on a monthly basis that you would get by waiting to whatever age it is, maybe 67, 70. So if it's $900 extra or $1,000 extra a month, if you divide what you could have earned from 62 to that age, that'll give you the number of months you need to live after 62 to have that decision make sense. So it kind of gives you, it's a general rule of thumb. It's easy for folks to calculate for the most part. And so that's generally sometimes the decision. In fact, I just had a conversation with a gentleman today who decided to take Social Security early because he didn't think he was going to live to 70. So just based on that break-even analysis. And so I wanted to caution him because that break-even analysis does have some significant gaps in the analysis and the logic behind it. First and foremost, it doesn't take into consideration the fact that money could be earning interest and that the dollar received today could be worth more in the future. So time value of money is not calculated into the break-even analysis. So it could actually overestimate the value of waiting to claim benefits since it doesn't discount for future payments that you could receive based on, waiting. The other factor is that it doesn't take into consideration taxes or inflation or other sources of income. As you know, there's a provisional income test where it talks about how much of your Social Security is going to be taxable. There's an earnings limit, but essentially, it could affect the net income, the actual dollar amount that you're getting from Social Security because of the taxes and other factors. For instance, if you have other sources of income like pensions, or savings and investments, dividends, anything like that you're receiving that are supplementing Social Security, you may have to pay taxes on all or most of your Social Security benefits depending on what income level and your filing status. So again, it can reduce the actual amount that you receive from Social Security. Also, inflation can eat away at that purchasing power. So if you're deciding to invest, taking Social Security early, your strategy is to invest that money. Well, what if the market doesn't give you what you need? What if the market doesn't give us a 5 or 6 or a 7% rate of return on average that's going to keep up with the cost of living the way that Social Security has historically done? Those cost of living adjustments are generally on par with what we see, some of the indexes that we track for inflation like CPI and things like that. So also, break-even analysis doesn't really include or take into consideration any of your personal goals or preferences or life expectancy for that matter as it pertains to money. So, maybe, for example, you prefer having more money coming into the household earlier in retirement. I hear that a lot, that clients want to take Social Security early because they can enjoy it. That's fine. I get that. You may be more active earlier in retirement, healthy, so you could prefer to have a benefit sooner than later. On the other hand, you may prefer having more income later in retirement when, in my opinion, you're most vulnerable to income loss and to inflation and the rising cost of expenses. The other aspect that I would caution investors to do as it pertains to Social Security is don't just think about this decision in a silo, kind of in a vacuum on your own. You need to really think about claiming Social Security as a couple. And the reason that I say that is because, if you have a situation where, let's say, one spouse didn't work outside of the home and the other spouse was the primary breadwinner, your Social Security benefits, on their own individually are going to be much different. One is probably going to be a lot higher than the other. And so in the unfortunate instance that one of the spouses passes away, let's say the breadwinner passes away, you're going to lose that spouse's income. Essentially, what happens is the surviving spouse will get the higher of the two. So for some folks, when I mention that, if they're not aware of that, and I say, wouldn't you want to leave your spouse the greatest benefit that you possibly could in your absence, then the light bulb kind of goes on and they think, well, yeah, I would. And that was actually the turning point in that conversation today with our client, that when I went down that road with him, his wife was a homeowner, or I'm sorry, a homemaker, didn't work outside the home. It made sense to him to say that, yeah, if I pass away, she's going to, really be limited income-wise. It would be better for me to wait a couple of years and have a larger benefit or split the difference. Maybe it's not 70, maybe it's 68 and a half or something like that. So longevity, life expectancy, that also factors into it. We don't generally focus on that too much because I can't control that, and I don't know how long you're going to live. But ultimately, I think the decision when to claim Social Security benefits is a personal one. It shouldn't be based on the benchmark or just a break-even analysis. Let us, incorporate all of those considerations: life expectancy, time value of money, your goals, your personal preferences for spending, and come up with an optimized strategy that may involve taking some assets from your retirement accounts in the interim, but ultimately is going to put you and your spouse in a better position long term, a higher probability of success overall.
When it comes to Social Security, this conversation is just scratching the surface. We can make shows upon shows discussing all the nuances of it, but again, there are other topics we want to talk about. But once again, Medicare and Social Security workshops coming up September 5th and 6th at the Red Lobster in Maumee at 6 p.m. You can get more information about those by going to arhq.com, clicking on the events tab, or if you want to jump the line and go ahead and get in front of the team at America's Retirement Headquarters and have that conversation, have that Social Security optimization report done for you and figure out, the best time for you right now, give a call right now. Schedule a time to speak with them personally, 419-794-3030.